Hi, I'm Ralph Hadzik, and with me is my co-host, John Magner. And John and I are going to take the opportunity of looking at Australia's newest and fastest-growing team sport, and that's gridiron. This presentation to you will be in three parts: our introduction, highlights of one of the games, and also sponsorship opportunities and the future of the game itself. John, of course, is my co-host commentator down there at Norwood Oval and Eastside Razorbacks coach. John, tell me, the question has come to us on a few occasions. What's the advantage of introducing another code of football to the Australian public?
Well, I think the advantage is that gridiron is probably the fastest growing team sport around the world. Australia has a reawakening, I would say, into national competition now with the advent of the Grand Prix here, with their taking of the America's Cup, and gridiron is perhaps the most well-received sport, both in the United States, in Japan now. It's the fastest growing sport in the country, throughout Italy, 200 teams in England. It's really coming on. It's a major team sport, which I think Australia needs. I don't think it has a major team sport at this point. It's wonderful for the kids in that it's a character builder, and it's a great family sport. As you'll see as we get into this, there's many aspects of this that far too much for us to go into just, in this quick time that we have. But, marvelous opportunities here, a progression of chess on a green field.
Well, that's certainly an advantage. Of course, it's a great crowd spectacle, too.
It is. It's more than just a game on the field. There's all the periphery that goes into it, the cheerleaders and the marching bands and the flag raisings and the national anthems and the tailgate picnics in the parking lots and so forth that involve every member of the family. Plus, it's a marvelous sport to teach the youngsters how to get along. I don't think you're going to find lads that play this game for very long that have difficulty in life, if you will. Not to be too large a scope, but you get along with the fellow next to you, or you don't make out.
So team discipline, in other
Oh,
words.
I guess.
Well, what we're going to look at are highlights of the first unofficial state match, South Australia versus Victoria. The outcome of the game, South Australia won 66-7. Of course, any time that we have the opportunity of having a good showing against Victoria is always very heartening in South Australia.
Right.
With all that being said, let's have a look at some of the highlights, and John and I will give you some commentary and some insight as to what's happening in the game. And the coin is tossed right here. One of the parts of the spectacle of the game, John, where the officials determine which way the ball is going to go.
Who's going to kick off and who's going to receive, and then of course that's followed, as you can see here, by the flag raising. The national anthem is always played at the beginning of every contest. The fans get up and have tribute to their nation, and of course all the players line up and take their hats off, and then on with the spectacle as they come out of the chute.
Well, that's great. Being an expatriate Australian myself, having spent as many years in the U.S. as I have, I've really come to enjoy that spectacle, that part of the game that really gets the fan involvement. It sort of raises that fever pitch level, and then there's all the
Well, the fans are a big part of the game, all throughout. I mean, that's the 12th man is just supporting your side in the stands and on each of the drives. They're a very big part of the game.
Well, the Razorbacks were the first team to receive in the game, and as you can see, their #1 return man on the special teams.
Yeah, that was number 44 there. That was Mark Yeager, who's probably one of the premier running backs. Matter of fact, I think he ended up as the ex-Trophy's most valuable running back for the Razorbacks.
You can see right through the game, of course, the fans are helped along by the cheer squad. Quarterback, number 18, that's the man who handles
Doug
the ball.
Hayes there. He's going in for the first score there as he dives over the end zone for the first score for the Razorbacks.
Working on what they call a quarterback option play. If he sees something that isn't quite right and he thinks he can do better, well, then it's up to him.
Right, he can do an audible right at the line and change the call of the play if he sees the defense of the other side setting up in a way that leaves him vulnerable. He'll change the play right up there at the line. See, they've only got 25 seconds to get a play off, so you have to be able to do that.
Well, here are the Victorians again. Their quarterback, Shafir, seeing that there were no receivers cleared downfield, took the ball himself, probably picked up a few yards, and met with some heavy resistance. It didn't take long, though, until the Razorbacks got the ball back in that particular game, and of course Doug Hayes, who probably finished up as the most valuable player.
He was the most valuable player for the season, right. That's a pitch out there to 88 to, oh my gosh, let's see.
Looked like number 80, May, there.
That
John.
would have been John May, right.
Right, John May taking the ball. Again, back for a quick
There's the
pitch
lost
out
catch.
over
That's
to...
to George Banco, number 22, who's a trail back, a good fast man who you'll see several times this afternoon as he goes through the motions. George got a little hot spot to him, too. He's got a little showmanship.
The old garters and the socks weren't working too well, but that didn't upset the
didn't
work that his
upset
hands
George.
did.
No, didn't upset George. Well, the secret to the game, of course, is to be able to get off the ball quickly. Now, there's a nice wide-open pass there by Hayes again, this time to Kim Stroett, number 88.
You can see, even on the sidelines, they keep the morale of the team
yes,
up all the time.
All the time, right. The players are instructed to do just that. Now, there's a good pass reception by one of the Victorian boys. Nice run on the tail end of that thing. Got himself some good yards on it. But in the end, the Razorbacks were able to wear him down, and they just didn't have enough not enough firepower for him.
Well, I think the Victorians really were quite surprised by the superlative standard of the South Australian play.
They were surprised because, they went up against and beat the New South Wales team in an interstate competition earlier on, and that team was coached by a chap who played for about 10 years at the Kansas City Chiefs of the NFL back in the United States. So,
right.
There's some good talent on that team, and it was well coached. So, yeah, they were surprised a bit.
One of the things that I'm really pleased to see, John, in the Australian gridiron is the fact that if a player is hurt, as in this occasion, this player is shaken up right here, the coach comes on the field with the training staff. They stop the play to make sure that the player is
Well, yeah,
in
safety
good
is a big part of it. We have, all the teams have team doctors, have team physios, and yeah, you don't move a player. Now, most of the time it's just had the wind knocked out of him kind of thing, but still, you don't want to take any chance, so nobody touches him till the qualified personnel take a look at it.
Again, the Victorians with the ball, firing back to their quarterback, Shafir. He throws out. There's an interception.
That's
the
an
Razorback
interception,
safety man right there was able to reach up and
That
grab
was John
that
Mayer
ball.
that caught that one on a good interception. See, they're trailing in the game now, so they're going to go more to the pass in that they've got to score quickly. And as I say, we were just able to cover their people better, and they just didn't have those opportunities. There was a good run coming over the top.
Vanko again.
That was George, was it? Yeah, that's George, number 22. And this, of course, is the cheerleaders, and they're a very big part of the game because they keep the fans up and they keep the support to the players. Now, here's number 49 coming back. A good run by this lad, but he's put down there several good tackles.
On behalf of the Razorbacks right there. And again, something worth noting is that the violence factor is reduced right out of the game. The officials have a very firm hold, and they rely on the coaches of both sides to get on the field and make sure that...
The officials run the game. There's no... the boys are instructed in that right from the beginning. The officials are totally in charge of the game. You don't have to like the call. You got to do what he does. There again, the cheer squad, which, as I say, is a very big part of it, and the mascot. Now, this is late in the third quarter here when the score got a little bit out of hand for him.
Like I said, the Victorians were surprised at the standard. I think also another fine point about the Razorback Club here is to find a fellow with a physical deformity like that head can find a spot on the team.
You're not being kind. He'll come chasing after you.
Oh, that's Gillette the mascot.
Now, Gillette is a good boy, and as I say, great. And if you noticed in some of the flashes, we were talking over them, but in some of the flashes, you noticed the fan response is a big thing, and they really get behind these clubs. Even the teams that didn't do well in the won and lost records throughout the season had terrific fan support.
Well, and also with mascots like Gillette, it also is fun for the kids. The kids love the mascot, don't they?
It's fun for the kids, right? And they're very much a part of it. You'll find a lot of the families and a lot of the parents will come with their youngsters, and they all are dressed out. They're all in the outfits of their team.
I see you on the sideline there, John. You're breaking up.
Oh, boy, just getting a little anxious. Boy, just getting a little heat up there. When you get a blowout like that, the boys get a little anxious at the end. There's George trying to sneak in.
Trying to
not
find
quite.
the end zone, not
There
quite
they go.
there. Oh, there you go. They've learned how to do away.
Yeah, that's
so you
it.
can see they have really picked up on the fundamentals.
Well, you know, we're tied in here in South Australia with the Texas colleges, Texas A&M, University of Texas, and the like, and we get their playbooks, we get their films, the cheer squads get their cheers. So yeah, there's a lot of exchange going on. There goes Hayes again, ramping through the middle. Fine running back, who incidentally was an all-stater at Texas in his college days. But we have that exchange with the universities back in Texas, and it's tremendous for us. Mike Jackson, the president of the club, was over there back in this past November, and we're looking forward to the day when we're going to get some of their coaches coming over here for Coaches Clinic.
Well, I understand already that Texas A&M is very interested in doing exactly that. But a point that's worth noting is that 95% of all the players that you see on the field are in fact Australians.
Oh yes, oh yeah, very much so. Well, this is Australian gridiron. I mean, let's differentiate that right now. This is definitely Australian gridiron. It's going to go all the way, and we'll be sending some boys back there. Here, there's a little celebration at the end there. Number 30, Neil Hogg, was the captain of the team. He had a small injury near the end of the season, which is why you see him on the crutch there. But he was out very much to encourage the boys on. And there's 32, John Ribbett, another fine power back for the club.
I think you'll agree with me that that was pretty exciting stuff, John. The vision that we've
I
just,
think it's very exciting.
there.
I think that's tremendously exciting. Of course, I'm involved in it. You know,
Well, that's true.
And we're caught up in the whole thing. But yes, I think it's a very exciting thing. I think it's something that we've noticed over the year that the youngsters have really taken to. I mean, you're talking about 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 fans out there, first year off in a competition people don't even understand.
Well,
so, yeah, I think it's very exciting.
Well, statistically, and these are the statistics, Australian gridiron is now one of the fastest growing spectator sports in Australia. And just a statistic by point of fact, in 9 games, the entire fan total surpassed 2 Woodville home seasons for Australian footy. That was worth throwing in. To give you an idea that it's not a flash-in-the-pan thing, it happened week after week. In 1986-87 season, New South Wales will field 10 teams, Victoria will be fielding 8 teams, South Australia will increase 2 and field 6 teams in the competition, and Queensland, their first year in, will be fielding 4 teams. So basically, this is an increase of 10 teams Australia-wide in Season 2.
Yeah, well, this is going to be, I don't think I'm going to go too far on a limb here, although I'm sure that some people are going to chop my head off for saying this, but gridiron will be national before footy in Australia. No question, hands down. We'll be into Queensland next year. We'll be into Western Australia next year. I would say 2-3 years, right across the board, every state, and there's no question about that. That's here, that's a now. Australia, and people have got to begin to understand this. I think I touched on it earlier on. This is a tremendous sports country that's awakening on an international basis. You have a Grand Prix. You're number 5 in the Masters as I sit here, coming up, right? Your tennis is coming back, and it's been dead for 15, 20 years, and that was the gut of Australia. It's back. You just took a Masters away from us a couple of years back. You've got the America's Cup going to go up again in Western Australia.
And there's the soccer as well.
Right? 15 million people. You ain't doing bad, right? You've got equestrian horse racing, horse jumping here and show first time, right? So there's a tremendous resurgence. It's now, right now for Australia. Tourism is right now for Australia. And gridiron is probably the most competitive thinking man sport in the world. It's a progression of rugby and soccer and all the rest of them. Yeah, it's here, it's now, and it's going to really take off.
Well, getting away from just even the sport and the spectator aspect of gridiron, one of the more interesting aspects of the game this year was that in South Australia's first gridiron season, that without sponsors, they finished in the black. Not a bad track record for the first season of any sport. I think you'll have to admit that. At present internationally, England have 200 teams, Italy have 65 teams, and in Japan, gridiron has become their fastest growing sport ever. Gridiron, Australia-wide, will offer an ideal ground floor opportunity to any company thinking of sponsorship in any capacity, John.
Well, I think, of course, the advent of television to the sport is going to just change the whole thing completely. And that's what we'd like to be able to progress. We've got to get in front of more people, and I think that's all it's going to take. So if anyone is, in fact, interested, we're available to come on out and go chapter and verse with you and just show you how it all works. But it's a great opportunity, and it's here and it's now.
Well, you know, the first season experiment has worked without sponsorship at a small profit. This is certainly a good opportunity for your company or your station to back a winner in the ever-evolving sporting tastes of the Australian sporting enthusiasts.